Hello everyone, my name is Karim Saleh. My background about math is just the same as you all are. I mean, I used to hate it very much. And today I will take you through a journey for about 14 minutes about why do we actually hate it. So I'll start with the following question. How many people here used to hate this subject? Just raise your hands. Oh my God, that's so much. Okay, now, that will basically take us to another question, which is education. Why do we always call it the education process? Why is learning a process? Have you ever thought about this? I mean, everybody just comes around and says, it's all about the process. I mean, this is how we do the process of learning, the process of education. But actually, is it a process? I'll give you 10 seconds basically to think about it, and then we're going to discuss it. So, okay. Anybody has any answers? Just keep that in mind. Now, for us to define a process, I mean, every process has to have some sort of a beginning, right? And then a process itself, whatever you want to do, and then goes on to an end, right? So let's apply this to our daily lives. So it might be looking something like this. We start from elementary school, we move on to junior high school, and then college, and then we result in a job. But is this the whoa? Okay, I mean, obviously it wants to connect, but let's just continue. So, but is this, you're teasing me. Okay, that's okay. All right, so, but is this the final result? Think about it this way. When we come to a job, what do we learn next? Job skills. We continue on doing graduate studies, postgraduate studies. So, we come up to a conclusion, whereas we always keep on learning. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. It just never stops. That's why learning is a cycle. It just keeps on moving. You just continuously learn. You just don't stop at a certain point. No, you just keep on learning. Imagine that you have this massive tornado on top of your head that sucks in all kinds of information throughout your lifespan. Even though you're a NASA scientist, you have sent billions and billions of rockets to space. You have done millions of things. You're 50 years old, you have a lot of knowledge. But then when you get to your grandson's Game Boy, you just take a look at it, and then you might be wondering, how can I work that? But unfortunately, as all cycles, they always get disrupted. They just broken down. There are many reasons basically that breaks this cycle, the learning cycle or the educational cycle. Think about it in your head. There are a lot of reasons. But have you ever asked yourself why this cycle always breaks? Now let me take you back again to the main question. Why do we hate math? All right, math, if we apply basically this theory that we have just discussed, is all about basically, it's a cycle, but what breaks this cycle? Let me take you back in time to when they used to teach us math. Does anyone recognize this person? Yep, this is a typical math teacher that we find in schools. But we have to think about something else, which is the reason behind this. It's violence. This is one of the main reasons that breaks the cycle. It just spins you off control. It just makes you hate to learn. You just don't want to continue on it, just because you're getting basically exposed to violence. Now, we have three types of violence that may occur in an educational cycle. The first one is the physical violence, which unfortunately we see in our schools and such. This is an actual picture taken inside a school. Actually, this is a video of a teacher beating up a young student who's not more than 4 years old. And when I come to think about it, I always ask myself, would this little child want to continue to learn if she got exposed to the learning cycle this way? Okay, now we move on to the second type that we have, which is the emotional. You might be wondering, emotional? How can that be? Well, you can find it in phrases in school such as, if you don't study, you're stupid. You're a girl, you can't do it. If you do not study, you'll be the worst person in society there ever is. Can you imagine what kind of impact this will have on people? The third thing that we have is the educational violence. You might be starting to say, whoa, hold on a minute. Educational violence? What are you talking about here? What I'm talking about here is that a concept, which is such as, for example, curriculums, subjects, have reduced the process, not just the process, but the cycle, of learning to just pass and fail, to just getting grades, to just graduating. But if we just ask ourselves that question, how many people in this room actually remember what they have learned in a subject that they hate? If you do, raise your hand now. None. See? Because it was all about, I want to get the hell out and I want to graduate, I want to get this subject off my back. But we have to think about another thing as well, which is, you do not have to force it into them. You have to try to basically get them to learn through a different way. There are always different ways. Not through force, but through conviction. Through making a meaning to what they learn. Some of you might start to ask, the solution? What's the solution? How can we do that? It's been a chronic problem for ages. We have been students, failing. We have been students skipping school and all that. But there are always solutions. One of them is partnership. Think about it this way. You're a 6-year-old class teacher, and you're teaching them about almost anything. Let's stick to math, okay? Now, if you do not basically approach these students in a certain way, whereas you understand their behavior, you learn from them how do they speak, how do they talk, how do they absorb things, then you're just only a one-way communication, and as we all know, one-way communications never work. The second thing that we have is triggering curiosity, and my friend here, Mohammed Mamdouh, spoke about it basically very, very intensively, but I'm trying to focus here on a massive picture, on giving people the purpose to learn again, giving them the idea of, I want to know this again. I want to know what's behind it. I want to know why the wood is so brown. I want to know why my skin color is such a way. I want to know what makes plastic melt. It's all about how can we make them interested, triggering their curiosity. And we also have another solution, which is making it personalized. How, you may ask? I would tell you. Let's not just put it as a math book. It can be Karim's math book. It can be Emmy's math book. It can be James's math book. We don't have to standardize learning so it can become some sort of a product in a chain in a production chain, so it could just produce products for the market. No, learning is way much more beyond that. Now, I'll tell you a personal story why I don't hate math anymore. Now, I was in the IG, and I used to hate the subject like hell. Like, so bad, I used to throw the teacher with chalks. But I was lucky enough to meet a young lady who used to tutor me math. And she came up to me and asked me the following question: why do you hate it? I told her, I cannot relate. It's just too stupid. Only stupid people basically learn math. And she was like, okay, so what kind of things do you like? I mean, what are your hobbies? I told her, I love cars. I'm crazy with cars. I'm a motorhead. So she told me, okay, so you're definitely a Formula One fan. I said, definitely yes. She told me, okay, here's your first lesson. I want you to draw me a parabola that resembles a Formula One car nose. And let's work that through another physics thing so we can see if it's aerodynamic or not. Now, she basically taught me that math isn't just about equations, variables, numbers. No. It's all about relating things. You just put things together. You know, very simple things. And the result can be very, very impressive. Now, what we actually want to get here, or what I'm trying basically to get here, is that if you're going to basically teach someone, don't just teach them for the sake of teaching. Teach them because it's life. Life is all about learning. And because we have a life cycle, learning is part of this cycle. And our cycle affects the next cycles. If we use violence, if we force them into it, we'll break the cycle. Nobody will want to learn. But if we come to them, approach them, tell them, yes, we will take care of you. And yes, this relates to every single aspect that you do. It's gonna be, the results will be amazing. What we do right now influences the next generations. And if we are going to choose the right tools to complete this cycle, then definitely we will have better thinkers, better scientists, better people at the workplace, even better humans. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm quite honored to have given you this presentation. And thank you for completing my cycle.